Hey, it's Dr. Karen Can. Welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. I don't know about you, but I've had to do a lot of adapting lately. Yes. um, Adapting to unexpected things happening, adapting to certain types of, news. There's a lot still going behind the scenes of what's going on. And one of the things I was able to do was evolve positive morphic fields, these what I call triple A's. They're called automatic alignment activators that kind of do like an auto healing bubble for me for a certain person, place, or thing. So I've been doing it for some grander things lately, and we were able to evolve that. So that's a piece of good news. But what I understand is that, it can be pretty uncomfortable having things happen and you're like, why is this not working? Or getting in trouble, being put in Facebook jail or whatever it is. And it just dawned on me that one of the things that we can as humans uh, become is maximally adaptable to whatever comes our way. And there's actually a positive morphic field for that of being maximally adaptable, but not just in terms of our mindset, because that is, of course, very, very important, but also other ways of being adaptable, like physically, emotionally, energetically, dimensionally, relationally, spiritually, and I'm not even sure like all of what that means to be fully adaptable in all those different ways, but the God team knows, source knows, the universe knows. So, that saying, right? Like, when you're handed lemons, you make lemonade. Yeah, there's a lot of that going around, a lot of things to do. Now, I decided that I was going to start doing a series of Instagram lives, and I'm calling it the 7 days of light. And so it's ways in which we can stay higher vibration, taking a look at some myths and misperceptions, and also some tools, techniques, and tips to how to, you know, keep our higher vibration. And there's a lot of testing going on in the world. There's a lot of situations where we get tested, and those of us that have a high spiritual responsibility, sometimes the tests are a little harder, sometimes more subtle, but can be a little harder. So it's like a constant self healing, self exploratory journey, if you will. And that can be both exciting and anxiety producing at the same time. So having been off Facebook for almost 10 days now, and Facebook still threatening to remove me completely, I thought, well, let's see, what can I do to make lemons out of lemonade? Sorry, lemonade out of lemons, although I like lemons a lot. Um, and I thought, well, let's grow the Instagram tribe, right? So if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm still on YouTube. Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put the link to my Instagram below. Now, I have used Instagram a lot, and what I noticed is that as these um, uh, blocks or obstacles come my way, it's like learning to pivot and kind of like in my book, I talk about perception kung fu. That's exactly what we're being called to do. So just kind of shifting and changing, going around, and you know what? And at the end of the day, um, you know, if I completely gone off Facebook and lose my, 4,000, 5,000 followers and however many, groups that have built up over these years, at the end of the day, I'm going to survive, right? You're going to survive, and if you really connected to me, you'll find me. Whether it be on MeWe or email list or a new app if I decide to make something like that. And so I think it's really interesting to be able to notice when I'm resisting uh, life or resisting what is, and then go into that place of adaptability and doing that perception kung fu, where that obstacle now becomes my um, conduit, if you will, for further growth and evolution, which is so cool. Which is another way of saying making lemonade out of lemons, right? So this past week I have been learning how to do Instagram lives. Still haven't figured out how to save it, but that's okay. So they are housed in my Instagram TV. And I know some of the spiritual teachers are doing this like every single day. I'm like, wow, that is amazing. Where do you have time to do that? That's amazing. So it was kind of fun, to connect to some of my tribe, old and new there. And it's an experiment because Instagram and Facebook are intimately connected. They're owned by the same people. So the people that deplatformed, you know, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., which is Instagram, could they deplatform me as well? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's a possibility. But no one's going to die because I'm deplatformed, right? So in some way, shape, or form, I don't think anybody's going to die because I'm deplatformed. Um, so you might think, well, gee, Dr. Karen, aren't you attracting this, and it isn't your fault that you. And I'm like, yeah, probably. And at the same time, it's sort of like it's an experiment. So it's like life is like this series of choices and experiments, and you test things and see how they go. And I do believe that I've come to figure out kind of a mini formula on how to post things of importance. Facebook wants everything to be nice and fun and nice and fun, and not necessarily sharing certain points of view that aren't very popular with mainstream media. So I found a way that I saw some of the posts that I had posted did not get reviewed and censored, and some did. And in case you're curious as to how should I post so I don't get censored, if you want to share information with people that you care about, what I figured out is that if I create a meme, if I create a meme and it has words on it that are kind of informative but not full of drama. Okay, that's the key. Okay, so if there are words that are informative and not dramatic, aren't trying to pull someone like emotionally or manipulate their emotions, and then in the text that I write in the post, if it's pretty, like if it doesn't have the keywords that these robots are looking for, or humans whatever are looking for to censor, whether that be COVID-19 or masking or vaccine, especially vaccine, or certain people like Dr. Simone Gold, or Robert F. Kennedy Jr., like Dr. Mercola, like these are censored people, right? So if you don't necessarily include them or tag them in there, but you're still giving that information through the meme or picture, or even through your own personal story, because I found that those are my most popular posts, are not the posts that I share from elsewhere that may incite some sort of indignation or anger, because someone's sharing something about the vaccine and who died and blah blah blah, and 87,000 healthcare workers want end of lockdowns in the UK. That one got censored. So if you share your own story, or if I share my own story about how I was and how I am today and how I've changed and what I've realized, this is how I was as a medical doctor before, these are things I didn't do, and not to be ashamed of those things, but we didn't know, we prescribed medications and things like that because we were doing the best that we can. But there's a whole another area of understanding and to healing that is very, very different and deeper than what we learn in medicine. So I'm journaling or sharing my experience of that journey, if you will, as a medical doctor. And I find that those vulnerable posts that I share my vulnerability and my mistakes, and things that, regret is too big a word, but those things that I kind of wish I knew before, but now I know. So I totally am compassionate, understanding to my medical colleagues who maybe don't know yet. And I'm sure there's tons of things I don't know as well that I will learn in the future. So in those kinds of vulnerable posts, those don't get censored, even though it's sharing the same kind of information that I would like to share with people, And so will there still be more experiments that I'll be doing? Yes. Yes, I would really love for, if you are following me on Facebook, to, please switch over to MeWe ASAP, because we never know, what's going to happen, because we are continuing to do experiments, and I refuse to be, not share what I feel is appropriate to share. If people don't want to listen to it, they can just unfollow me, right? Right. So, doctor. I'm a medical doctor. I have the science background, but also I'm an energy healer. So I have the energy healing background. I see the big picture, right? There's a lot of things in the unseen world that we deal with every day. So I like to give the whole gamut of all of that. But I am going to do it in a different way since we have done our experiments this month and was censored off a little bit far, longer than we thought. 3 days we thought, yay, but 10 days was a little much, especially when you have work to do. And yeah. So the cool thing is that being adaptable, getting back to that theme now, being adaptable, which is something I was not very good at in the not so distant past. If I was on a train, it'd be like, I have to go this way, right? It's like, well, there's a shortcut, or maybe, this way is less problematic around the mountains, or whatever. Like, I'd be like, nope, I got to go through the mountain. So I had to do everything the hard way because it was supposedly the right way. So these are things that I've learned that, okay, I can be a little bit more flexible and adaptable. And it's really, really helpful because the cool thing is I've learned new things. So, I've learned new things about Instagram. I'm still working on figuring out stuff for my new phone. So, which is pretty funny, actually. I'd be like, huh? No idea still. So, whoops. Yeah. Yeah, I can't figure that one out, but I will. But it's like learning how to function new apps, learning new things, learning new possibilities, new ways of doing things, and we keep growing. And yeah, it's kind of a pain to like constantly be learning new things, but at the same time, you can view it as exciting, right? You can view it as exciting. You can view it as using these brain cells, and what you don't use, you lose. So when you do use them, you're exercising your brain, you're exercising that adaptability, right? You're exercising uh, your ability to learn. And so that's exciting. So why don't we go ahead and download the automorphic field of maximum adaptability? Yay, right? Even if you haven't, you can go ahead and still do the Topican healing directive. So what I want you to do is just to feel in your body right now, go into the place of stillness. And how we do that is, you can rub your hands, and move a little bit so you feel vibrations when you close your eyes. You feel vibrations in your body. So you're focused, feeling, and following the flow, okay, of this frequency and vibration. You can open your eyes if you can do it with your eyes open. It's a little bit more advanced. So I'm going to say the Topican healing directive, and you can just make the intention to receive, or you can go ahead and repeat it after me. Here we go. And you can say it for yourself. I'll say it for you as well. So I now command that the positive morphic field of maximum adaptability be downloaded in all parts of me, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, spiritually, dimensionally, relationally, in all the different ways possible, in the highest and best way, all directions of time, and all timelines wherever I exist, with ease and grace. Thank you. Okay, so that downloads and activates that particular adaptability morphic field to see how it feels in your body. If you are watching this on YouTube, first of all, please subscribe to my YouTube, but also, put in the comments below how that feels after downloading that positive morphic field. Hopefully you'll feel something positive, moving and shifting in the body for that. Because being adaptable, highly adaptable, is a very wonderful characteristic to have. Whether that be, like in some instances, like starvation, like being able to adapt so that you can, be more efficient, burning fat for energy, to not have to have your coconut water or whatever, every day, so you can adapt to your surroundings, adapt to the cold, the wind, the whatever it is, right? And that's just physically, but being able to adapt to other things that might stress people out mentally, emotionally, spiritually, those kinds of things. I think it's really helpful to have this. Yeah, so let me know how that feels by posting a comment. So some announcements I want to share with you. So on Monday, February 15th, which is the day after my birthday, I have a recorded show we're going to air for the first time with Ashley Reynolds. She is the CEO and founder of Elmer Mountain Therapeutics, and she's going to share with us the difference between CBD and CBG, the latter of which I actually quite like. I'm actually not really, I don't have a lot of supplements that I take these days. I have, Mag Force, Mineral Force, um, I may take my collagen supplements, my bone broth protein, that kind of thing. But I used to have a shelf, talk about self help. I used to have a microwave shelf full of all sorts of pills and pops and supplements and all that kind of stuff, right? And I did years of that, and realized that they weren't as efficient as light therapies. However, the CBG, interestingly, and you'll learn more about it in the show, I do respond to. So I was like, oh, I actually noticed a difference, which is very different from in the past where I take all these pills and I don't really notice anything for 6 months. You know what I mean? So CBG is pretty interesting. And I asked her some pretty challenging questions on the show. So I'll link that show for you, and it is going to air live 12 noon Eastern on Monday, February 15th, 2021. Okay. The second announcement I have is that I'm getting set for one of my quarterly free master classes. This one is called Light Medicine for Sensitive Souls. Discover who you are, why you're here, and how to heal faster and easier than ever before. So I'm super excited for this. This is on Friday, February 19th at 2 p.m. Okay, and I'll put the link near this video as well. And so this is a freebie. So if you know any people that are sensitive souls, empaths, etc., please share the link with them. Okay, it's a free masterclass. So in this masterclass, I'm going to actually share with you how I do soul typing. Okay, so how I do soul typing. So how and one lucky person is going to have their soul type read, a random person, and then the second thing we're going to do is show you how we extract the soul mission. And then the third thing is share with you the clairs. The clairs are like, your spiritual gifts, like clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, etc. We're going to talk about the clairs, how you may know which one is your dominant, and how to go about balancing those things, at least from my perspective. And then we're actually going to share with you the Topican healing method, how we ask quality questions of source, how we do these healings. I'm going to do some demonstrations on several people, and you might be one of those lucky people. They get to have the demo, so you can get to see how light medicine can actually work. So I'm super excited about this. This is going to be a new version of my masterclass. And in fact, we even took Facebook ads for this one. I'm experimenting with Facebook ads, which is very interesting, very interesting. And investing in that to grow the tribe, and hopefully before they kick me out. And I think you're going to love it. So definitely sign up for that. And yes, so I'd love you live on that. It's February the 19th, Friday at 2 p.m. Yes, for next week. So the other announcement I had is that I am now starting the Take 20 conversations on IAWSOM, or at IAWSOM. That's the International Academy of Universal Self-Mastery. Been talking about that. It's sort of like Hogwarts online. If you're a Harry Potter fan, so it's like an online university for all things wellness. And the faculty are amazing. And I'm so proud and happy to be faculty there. And I have my own little group called Sensitivity is Your Superpower. So over the months, we're going to be talking about lots of different things, including some of the skill sets in the Sensitivity is Your Superpower book, as well as, talking about the things that I can't talk about on social media. All things censored, because within those walls it's a safe place, and it's for people that want to know that information, right? So I'd love to share with you some of these things that are not appropriate for public consumption within the safe walls of IAWSOM. So you can join me there at the link below. I think it is before March 1st. You can be grandfathered to the launch price, which is $9.99 a month. And then it's like $89 for the year, something like that. So when you're a member of IAWSOM, it's like you're enrolled as a student there. And there's a lot of faculty there, and there's a lot of free courses that you can take. And then of course there's paid courses, and then you get to be in my group and other groups, and be in a safe community where everyone's focused on self-mastery, so no one's selling a bunch of widgets or things that are irrelevant to you, although there are business coaches in there. It's not a big sales thing in there. You know, it's really like a school, which is super cool, super cool. And I think you get 14 days free. Try it out, you know, win-win, right? So I'd love to see you there. And when you are there, make sure that you join my sensitivity or superpower group. And second of all, make sure that if you haven't already taken it, check out the free course that I have there, Introduction to Intuitive Decision Making. So that's all about how to do divine muscle testing. So if you're not already very, very good at divine muscle testing, definitely take that course. It's absolutely free. There's a little quiz, you know, yeah. So I'm looking forward, and that has its own group, so you can ask me questions and stuff like that. So I'm pretty much there almost every day of the week, and I'll be there more often. So I'm excited about that. Yes. So thank you so much for joining me for the Spiritual Medicine Digest. I look forward to communicating and connecting with you next week. Until then, lots of love. Bye for now.